I'm sure you're wondering why I'm looking like a school teacher today. Well, that's because I've come to teach you something that you need to know. As always, welcome to another episode of the Natural Disease Podcast. In case you don't know, I am Lily Chamaka and I am your favorite host of all time. And of course, this is your favorite show of all time. Welcome to the third season, second episode of this show. Well, officially, this is the first season, second episode of our video podcast.
Subscribe now.
Hi. Welcome to yet another amazing episode of the Heartfelt Business Podcast. I know you might be wondering, why does she look like a school teacher today? Well, that's because we'll be learning a very important thing today. We'll be talking about a very pertinent topic, especially in this our time. And that is artificial intelligence in nutrition, AI nutrition. Okay, so welcome back if you're an OG, or welcome new if you're new here. It's amazing to have with you all today. So grab your clean smoothie or whatever juice that you have, whatever fresh juice you have, grab it because we're talking about something that's changing the way we do, whether we realize it or not, right? Whether we realize it or not, AI is something that we interact with on every level, including on the stomach level, yeah? So welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here. AI isn't coming to nutrition, guys. This is the tea that I've brought today. AI isn't coming to nutrition. AI is here already, sitting at your dinner table, and you will wonder how. Well, as a dietitian with some experience, I do not think myself to be absolute. No. But from my experience in the field so far, watching people struggle with conflicting nutrition information. If you do not know, one of the reasons why I started the Heartfelt Business Podcast in the first place was to deal with the information problem that we have, especially in Africa and in Nigeria. I always say that we have an information vulnerability problem. You know, most times when we think of vulnerable groups, we only think of women, children, the elderly. But then in the end, every one of us is vulnerable, right? And you know, we say information is power, and we say too that here on Heartfelt Business that nutrition is not just about what you eat. It's about what you see, what you hear, what you listen to, what you expose yourself to on every level. Because they are feeding your mind. And you know, we'll talk about the mind and the body relationship. In fact, just so you know, before you eat with your mouth, you started eating with your mind first. Because your mind will think about, oh, I want this and this, and you already picture it, and you're already salivating before you get to devour the actual food. So when we keep saying define your nutrition, define your nourishment, these are the things that we're talking about. Arm yourself with the right kind of information so that you are in the best place to make informed decisions. Okay? So we have people struggling with this conflicting nutrition information, especially in this age and time where everybody is a nutritionist. They want to shame the years I spent in school. They want to shame the time I spent in internship. They want to shame all of that kind, but it will not work. The plans will not succeed. Because in the end, the experts will always stand out, right? And we want people to follow experts. Follow, there's roadside mechanic and there is the mechanical engineer, right? Don't follow roadside though. People struggle with conflicting nutrition information, impossible meal plans. And this is something that I would say makes the professional to stand out, because the professional has a lot of things to consider, right? But somebody who just did a crash course in nutrition might just put together a plan for you that might not be realistic. The person might even use AI. I'm coming to that too. Just hold that drink that you have. Okay? Impossible meal plans, and that voice in their head, in your head, that is saying, I should be eating better, or I should be more cautious, so but where do I start from? What do I do? Calm down, let's unpack this, okay? We're going to unpack the good, the complicated, and what it means for you as someone who wants to do better by yourself without losing your mind. You know, there's something I wish everybody would understand about nutrition. And when I mean everybody, I'm including HCPs, say doctors and nurses that want to do my job for me. They want to do our job as nutritionists and dietitians. Like, in nutrition and dietetics, personalization is everything. Nutrition and dietetics is a personalized science. So the fact that something works for Mr. A does not mean it will work for Mrs. C or baby E. Okay? Nutrition is also hard to incredibly deliver at scale. That personalized skill. Okay? In my practice, when I sit with a client or when I have a client call, by the way, if you'd like to consult me for any nutritional dietetics related services, find the link in the description so that you can schedule that. Okay? So in my practice, when I have these conversations with clients, I'm not just thinking about their macros or what they say they need. No, I'm thinking about a lot of things. I'm thinking about their work schedule, their cultural food preferences, their budget, whether they have kids. So many things that I consider, whether they are managing a chronic condition, what their pre-existing relationship with food is, right? And honestly, whether they even like cooking. We need a lot of things in this line of work. And that's the reality of being nutrition counselor. It's holistic. You know what? It takes time. Right? It's like talking stage. Yes, seriously, it is like that. But the problem is there are not so many registered dietitians out there as compared to the population that we have to serve. Right? And when I say this, I'm saying this because nutritional dietetics, especially in Nigeria, just started to gain the widespread interest that it should actually have. And just started gaining that right. So the population ratio to physicians and dietitians is quite not very user-friendly yet. And that's where AI comes in. And do not forget that the AI we're talking about today, I hope you know. So now let's look at what AI is actually doing in nutrition for us in this generation. What is AI actually doing? So what AI is really doing is it is helping with things like pattern recognition. Right? It's helping with things like pattern recognition. All of the data that AI gets, it uses it to recognize patterns in human behavior, right? In human practices, and it analyzes that data and tries to make sense of it. For the dietitians and nutritionists that feel like AI has come to pay their jobs, I'm sorry for you. At this point, you've not learned to leverage AI. And this is not even just for the dietitians and nutritionists, whatever field you work in. If you've not learned to leverage AI to ensure that your work is more seamless, you need to go and be taking advice from maybe your ancestors. Okay? So yes, AI is helping with pattern recognition, it's helping with timely diet tracking and feedback, right? The way you would have had to be doing your 24-hour recall on paper or something, you can just input it, and it gives you maybe like an overall score of how you're doing every week or every day. These things that many things you used to do manually, AI is now doing it for us as seamlessly as possible. What else is AI doing? AI is doing predictive analysis for chronic disease management, right? It looks at a particular population and it's able to predict that, okay, so and so and so and so could predispose people to a certain kind of decision in a certain population at a certain age. AI is helping us do these things because AI has access to data that you don't have access to as a client, as an individual or as a professional, right? AI has access to a lot, basically everything out there on the internet, and AI can analyze all of that at a speed that you cannot. So the time it would have taken you to scroll through several research papers just to make deductions, AI would do that at the blink of an eye, depending on your network. Yeah, depending on the network speed that you have. So AI does that, and like I said, AI looks at human behavior and tries to make deductions, predictions, analysis of all of that. But where the catch is, the nuance that we need to talk about is AI's role in behavioral coaching, right? First, the underlying issue includes the data problem. I was at the moonshot this month and a lot was really unpacked, especially at concerning AI, its use of the ethics around it. I was at the future state on day one, and we had founders and people that are really into the business of AI, the AI industry, and something they kept hammering on, people like Alexander and Jade, about things they kept hammering on are the issues around the data that AI is fed with. Of course, you know that AI cannot function without data. People like Alexander and Jade Abbott kept hammering on is the data problem, because AI cannot function without data. In case you do not know that, AI cannot function without data. Data is like oxygen to AI. So I'm going to give the instance of someone that asked the question during that session. Like, how do we deal with this problem where certain groups are misrepresented? Because she said she was asking her GPT some questions, and the GPT told her she's a man, because based on their interactions and her geographic location, it is only men that think like that. And it just goes to show you that AI does not have good judgment, right? AI does not have good judgment. It does not have localized data. It cannot make contextual judgment. And what do I mean by that? The data that AI is trained on is mostly from the West, from like abroad, Europe, all of those places. It doesn't necessarily have African data. It just makes assumptions for population groups like Africa based off of what is on the internet. And that's why at the moonshot I like that a lot of emphasis was made around encouraging people to start to build African AI to serve African people, because this will change the narrative in a lot of ways. It's going to be an entire paradigm shift. Okay, so AI has this judgment gap. It sort of amplifies the misinformation risk. I know AI is trying to solve an information problem, but if you're not careful, it's going to amplify that risk for you. And then, of course, equity. It's not everybody that can still access AI. My grandma in the village might not even have the network, strong network connection that she needs to ask AI questions that she wants to ask it. Other people in her August meeting might not have the devices. You need smartphones and all to access AI, not to. And these things are expensive. Let's not even lie about that. These things are expensive. So what's my take as a practitioner in the industry of human nutrition and dietetics? AI is beautiful, it's very powerful, negatively and positively. However, like I will still say always, its uses, its value of AI in our lives, in our country, is dependent on how we use it. It is entirely dependent on how we use it. I'm excited about AI democratizing access to basic nutrition information and all that, because not everyone can have access to dietitian at all times, right? But they might have access to AI tools and use them foundational guidance, right? As long as they are using it responsibly and they are very conscious with all their mental guardrails in check, right? But something I would also like to say is I'd like to encourage dietitians and nutritionists don't just want to be in a clinical setting or in academia, also delve into the research aspect of our profession. Give your contribution to that, because academia and clinical rely heavily on the research aspect. So I currently have a role as associate dietitian, and that role has opened my eyes to a lot, because we're doing tons of research, and it's just opened my eyes to see how much is actually leaning on how good our research outcomes are, how efficiently done, how lives are dependent on good quality research. Right? So if you are listening to everything I've said and you are thinking, so what should I now do with everything that you've said? Something I'll leave with you is AI is a starting point, not the finish line to your nutrition problems. I know it's easy to just tell AI, okay, create a 7-day meal plan for me, and you want to use that. But you need to be critical about where AI is getting its information. You need to be critical about how tailored that information is to you as an individual. Because AI was not built to serve you personally. AI was built to serve people. Okay? AI was built to serve people. And remember, your body is still the ultimate expert. No AI can feel what you feel. No AI can know your hunger cues or understand your unique history with food as much as your body does. Alright, so technology should enhance your body awareness and not replace it. So we are living in this fascinating moment where nutrition, technology, everything is colliding in ways that seem pretty harmonized, right? Things that we couldn't have imagined we would be doing 5 years ago, we're doing it now. It's a lot. Messy, it can be seamless, but it's a lot, and we'll keep figuring it out as we go, right? But if we can harness the use of AI thoughtfully, right, with human oversight, that's it, and genuine commitment to health and wellness, then we have a huge shot at making nutrition more accessible, personalized, and sustainable for more people. So, like I've said, I know you're thinking about the money that you spend conducting nutrition, dietitian. You're thinking about all of that. But I was having a conversation with someone this week, and the person was just saying how he has come to realize that if we really pay more attention to food, then a lot of hospital visits will be cut down. A lot of pharmacy visits, all those pharmacy errands, midnight panic attacks, a lot of all those things would be curtailed. But I told the person that a major part of our problem is the quick fix problem. I told the person that our bodies have been built by God to be able to heal itself given the right conditions, and one of these conditions is good nutrition, right? But because we want quick fix, we don't want the body to take its time to heal. We want the Panadol extra to work faster. That's why we bought extra, not the Panadol low. So because we want sharp, we would rather spend 24,000 naira on a long list of prescribed drugs than spend that same amount for less on consulting a dietitian nutrition. This was told the people of Israel, choose you this to heal yourself. For me and my house, we serve the Lord. Now, I will tell you like hypocrite, let food be thy medicine, not medicine thy food. Choose it these days. Do you want food to be your medicine, or do you want medicine to be your food? It's all in your hands. AI can help you, but AI's word is not law when it comes to your nutrition. Remember, it is personalized, or it should be personalized to you. I know it might seem like a cheaper option, but cheap isn't always the best. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. See you next time.